This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on your Sunday. I'm China Green. This morning on Sunrise, a mudslide forces some residents in Astoria to evacuate. We speak with a couple who say their neighbor's home actually moved during the slide. Plus, overtime pay is kicking in for farm workers across Washington, but some of those workers argue that the law meant to help them is backfiring. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Daisy Caballero for a quick look at the forecast. Good morning, Daisy.
Hey, good morning, China. Happy Sunday to you, and also happy Sunday to all of our viewers. Wanted to take you out to the Dalles this morning. They are dealing with right above that freezing degree mark, 34 degrees, and as you can see here, they're still dealing with some snow on the ground alongside some fog. So if you are going to be traveling up and over to the I-84, can't find my words this morning. Looking at Hood River, there is some pretty low visibility. Not expecting to see any impacts if you're traveling up and down the I-5 corridor until you get a little bit south of the Eugene area. Maybe a little bit of that low visibility over in off the coastline near Tillamook. All right, looking at our satellite and radar, we are starting to see the final of the showers that we're going to be seeing for the rest of today. We do actually start to dry out for the rest of the day today and into tomorrow as well, welcoming back more of those showers on Tuesday. But looking at our current temperatures this morning, pretty comfortable conditions, 57 out in Hillsborough, Beaverton. Also for downtown Portland, while out at PDX, the airport, we're right about 51 degrees. But looking at what else we can expect for today, we'll talk about how warm we're expecting to see, because maybe reaching a new record high for the day. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Daisy, thank you. A mudslide has shut down a street and forced a house off its foundation in Astoria. Luckily, no one was hurt in the slide, but some families have been evacuated. Ashley Grams has the story.
Mud, water, and even a tree slipped down a hillside in Astoria on Saturday morning.
It just looked like a muddy river.
Adrienne Fabrique and her husband Josh Stellman say they didn't even know debris was heading toward their home.
And I thought what I heard was wind early on, and I think it might have actually been the mud sliding down.
Fabrique says police officers knocked on their door.
There could be another big chunk of this coming down, and so you guys need to get out of here.
The pair packed up and headed off to a hotel downtown. Officials say the slide impacted 7 buildings near the intersection of 27th and Grand.
One of them is an apartment building with 4 units in it.
But the couple is most concerned about their neighbor's house.
They told us that the house directly above us, which is about from a 20-foot right of way, had moved 3 inches. So that was a little troubling.
Landslides and mudslides aren't a surprise to anyone who lives in Astoria. Back in 2021, a slide forced a house off its foundation.
It's Astoria. It's all kind of a slide zone. We're at the base of a slide zone. It's a steep hill.
After police and public works closed the road, Northwest Natural Gas crews worked at the base of the hill Saturday night. Fabrique and Stellman are hoping they'll return home soon.
We're being optimistic for now.
In Astoria, I'm Ashley Grams, KGW News.
Amtrak service is once again disrupted between Portland and Seattle because of another landslide in Philida. It's the 3rd time this week in the same location. Right now, all trains are canceled until at least 2:45 p.m. this afternoon. They say they're working to get buses for affected passengers. And our heavy rain has caused a combined sewage overflow into the Willamette River. That's when stormwater and sewage dumps in the river when the big pipes can't keep up. And there will be an increased bacteria in the river for about 2 days. Combined sewer overflows are supposed to be rare since the completion of the big pipe project in 2011. However, there have already been 5 since the start of 2024, which is as many as we usually get for the entire year. Overflows are triggered usually by heavy rain and snowfall. And we checked the big pipe tracker. It's sitting at about 40% of capacity right now. Portland police are investigating a homicide after a man was found dead inside his home in the Lentz neighborhood of Southeast Portland on Friday. We're still working to learn more about how that person was killed. Cindy Dorner spoke with neighbors to learn more about him.
I'm here in the Lentz neighborhood where Portland police got a report for a missing person on Friday morning. Police say they initially did a search to try to find him, but figured out he was locked inside his home and dead. Portland police are now investigating the homicide of a man who was found dead inside his home. Neighbors we spoke with say they didn't know much about him.
He seemed like he was working outside a lot on cars and motorcycles, but they kept to themselves, like they didn't interact with the neighbors too much.
The investigation started off as a missing persons report that led them to do an extensive search.
We noticed some police cars around 12:30 kind of arriving to the scene.
After that, officers got information that he may be inside the locked house. Police then forced entry to do a welfare check. Once inside, they found the man dead. Portland police say suspicious circumstances at the scene led officers to alert homicide detectives. Southeast Suncrest Drive between Southeast 92nd Avenue and Southeast Grandview Terrace were cut off for several hours while homicide detectives took a further look.
And stayed here until at least 9 o'clock last night. They were still here.
The on-site investigation is now done with roads back open. The cause and manner of death are still unknown, along with the man's identity. Police say they will release his name after family is informed. For right now, Portland police say no suspects or suspect has been located. No arrests have been made. Detectives do not believe there is a danger to the community as of right now.
I mean, I'm not concerned about anything in the neighborhood. I just think it's probably just a very individual situation.
Portland police will be releasing more details. Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
Starting this month, Washington farmers will be required to pay workers overtime when they log more than 40 hours in a week. The law was passed in 2021, but it took years to kick in. Now, while the idea sounds good, many farm workers don't actually like the new regulations. Sebastian Robertson has a story from Olympia.
No overtime! No overtime! Hundreds of farm workers gathered in Olympia, demanding change to the state's new overtime law.
As far as agriculture goes, everybody that works in the agriculture, I think we're all on the same page. I don't think you would find a single agricultural person that is in favor of the overtime rules.
Father and son, Jose and Rogelio Valdez, work in the pear orchards in Kashmir, Washington. They say because of the new legislation, their bosses have capped their hours at 40 hours a week as to not pay overtime. Instead, management simply brings in different workers to finish the job. It's impacting me. And I think every worker is feeling it in their pocketbooks too. The law passed in 2021, and at the time drew praise from the president. It was enacted in phases, and the limit for overtime pay dropped to 40 hours a week this month. That's 8 hours a day.
Now they're having to stay here 52 weeks a year to make the same amount of money, or less. In many cases, it's less than 40 hours a week. We've taken away their profit potential.
Senator Ron Mizal, a farmer himself, says the new regulations will impact seasonal workers more than anyone else.
We're asking for seasonality. We're asking for periods of time, depending on the industry, to be able to exceed 40 hours a week and not pay that overtime.
As for the workers, they say it's their choice to log long hours when the picking is good, something they don't want to give up.
In a statement on its website, the United Farm Workers of America, which supported the original bill in 2021, calls for the exclusion of farm workers from overtime pay racist and is actively campaigning for OT pay to be extended to all farm workers nationwide.